Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hello everyone, Craig here with another great business to discuss in this episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. Today's guest is Lauren, and she's selling her Amazon FBA and e-commerce business on the Empire Flippers marketplace. So welcome to the show, Lauren. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Craig. Doing well. Happy to be here.
It's good to have you on, and I'm looking forward to talking more about your business. But before we dive in, let's go over a brief summary of the business. It's an Amazon FBA and e-commerce business in the beauty and personal care niches, created in March 2016. The average monthly revenue for the business is $54,607, and it makes an average of $16,892 net profit each month. For everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search listing 52369 to learn more about the business, or you can unlock the US listing to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. So now that I've given a general overview of the business, let's have a look at what's included in the sale. We have the Amazon Seller Central account with 14 SKUs, 2 domains including all content and files for the sites, a Walmart seller account, trademarks, 1 registered and 1 in the final stages, and another one that's been filed. We have supplier contracts and relationships, SOPs, brand assets, and social media accounts for Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And it's also important to note that inventory is not normally included in the list price, but further details can be provided to active buyers. Okay, Laura, now let's hear from you. Can you tell us a little about your background in building and running online businesses?
Sure, yes. So we have had this company for a number of years, since 2016. And prior to being in the e-commerce space, I was in the healthcare and biotech space, building new product development and product management using behavioral economics and price theory, et cetera, to create sales and buzz in the marketplace. So the e-commerce space was something that was very intriguing. And we decided to do a test pilot on Amazon with a very small product in the personal and beauty care space that ended up taking off. And we put all our efforts into it and built it into a solid brand. So we've been at this for about 5 or 6 years and just really enjoying the learning experience as well as seeing the growth.
Excellent stuff. And that's an interesting background you have. How did you use that experience to grow this business?
So the most important thing in the product space to me is understanding your customer and positioning the product or the solution as a solution that is relevant to them. We used to say in the industry, with them, it's what's in it for me. And so all of our content is focused on the customer and what they need out of the product. And that's really resonated very well in the marketplace.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's an excellent insight there. Something that a lot of entrepreneurs should take on board. So how come you chose these niches in particular, I should say?
Sure. So the first one that we started was in the baby space. And quite frankly, it started on a dare from my husband. We had our youngest child in the house, and I was complaining about the lack of a specific solution in the marketplace. And he challenged me to do something about it. And I said, okay, I will. And so I took $100 and did a pilot, extremely bare bones, chicken scratch kind of pilot with a new product concept, and it worked. And so we then created that company bootstrapped. Once we had a manufacturing base and a supplier base, that's when we really started to expand into our additional brand and building that one out as well.
Wow, I think it's safe to say that you've won that challenge, Lauren. So when you've built up, I guess you started on Amazon and then you've sort of expanded out onto Walmart. You have 2 domains. Could you just talk us through the sort of progression of the business and how it grew?
Absolutely. So the 2 areas that we focus on with growth are optimizing our existing listings in terms of content, as well as squeezing as much juice out of the market as possible in terms of where we are positioned. as well as adding new products that are relevant to our consumer. So we decided to expand into the Walmart space a number of years ago because we felt that the products really would work well with that specific customer base. They're a lower priced, high quality product, and it's something that works with what Walmart already sold in the marketplace. And then we also found that people were using our website to find us and then were asking questions about our products and things like that. And so we decided to expand our Shopify space so that we could address customer concerns and handle emails coming from them, as well as allow them to purchase from the site.
Excellent. What does the sort of revenue divide look like for each monetization you have with Amazon and Walmart and such?
Yes. So the Amazon space is by far our largest. We see about 95% of our revenue and profits coming from that space. And then Walmart and Shopify are much smaller, encapsulating that last 5%.
Okay. So, how come you're selling the business at this point?
Sure. So we have the two brands in the personal care space, but we also have a third brand that has one core product, and we're looking to expand that brand. And because our team is small, we realize that we don't have enough time in the day to focus on three brands. And so we're looking to sell simply to free up some additional resources. We've gotten this brand to the size that we had hoped to get it to and looking to sell it for that reason.
Okay, and I'm interested about the two brands you have with this business. What is one brand bigger than the other? Is sell more SKUs, or are they sort of even?
Yes, the first brand that started this journey out for us is a smaller brand in the personal and beauty care space that shares a manufacturer with our larger brand. And so the smaller brand has one parent variation with 4 children underneath it. And then the larger brand has a number of child variations with about 3 to 4 core products, then with variations under each of those.
Okay, yeah, that's really interesting stuff and a good solid setup. So, you're looking to sell today. Is there anything you've learned from building this business that you will apply to future sites or businesses?
Absolutely. I think that one of the most important things that we have learned is the power of a network. I have, at this point, made many friends and acquaintances that also are e-commerce business owners. And just by simply sharing with each other the best visual artists, the best operations specialists, best strategies for pay-per-click, et cetera, has just been monumental to rising with the tide, if you will, and having us all grow together. So I think it's really critical to have that network. And then always expanding on what you know. And for the things that you don't know, not being afraid to hire it out. It doesn't always have to be you doing it, right? So hiring out those things that are not your core strengths and focusing in and doubling down on those things that are.
What sort of tasks have you hired out with this business, and what has been your main focus for the business?
Mm-hmm. So as the business owner, my focus is creating a company that does not need me to be in the weeds for it to run effectively and grow. And so the type of work that I do is overseeing my contractors that do a lot of the day-to-day operations of the business. I focus on making final decisions on the pipeline, as well as making sure that the inventory is exactly where I'd like it to be. My team, though, does the visual design. They manage the seller accounts, the account health, the customer inquiries, the Walmart fulfillment, the day-to-day activities, as well as the ad campaigns and pay-per-click.
Yeah, and same as you have Amazon operations specialists contracted working on the business, and that's good to have their expertise on the ship with you. So is there anything you tried with this business that didn't work out for you?
Let's see here. Oh, so many things. What to choose? You're always learning, right? So early on, we had tried to stamp into some of our products, our brand, and we found that the end consumer liked and preferred to have the brand on the packaging, but not on the product itself. And so that did a couple of years ago affect our sales velocity on one of our SKUs. And so we learned from that sometimes over tinkering is what you're doing rather than really improving. There's a fine line between the two, and take some time and experience to know the difference. But we definitely learned our lesson on that one.
Yeah, I'm curious, how did you find out that the customers preferred one over the other? Was it sort of the number of sales, or did you reach out for some feedback on the product?
Sales volume, and some of the customer feedback that we saw was when this product was branded, we inadvertently took off one of the core features that customers liked. And so we started receiving a number of pieces of feedback from customers asking why we changed it. And so we changed it back to the original design, which was what the customers preferred. And it's been growing ever since.
Right, interesting stuff. So what do you currently do in terms of marketing for your business?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So because most of our business is on the Amazon platform, we really focus our efforts in terms of advertising in that space. The operations team that I use, who are willing to work with a new buyer to continue the continuity with this brand, they are running the day-to-day pay-per-click advertisements. That is where we spend most of our time and money in terms of our advertising, is optimizing those and checking in with those on multiple times a week basis. We have a Facebook presence as well, but we find that for this particular brand, because we do have a smaller team, that we have been only focused in the pay-per-click space.
Right, and that final point sort of leads me into my next question of, what do you think are the major opportunities for growth with this business?
Our focus has been on the United States market. We have not tried to grow into the European or Asian markets or anywhere else for that matter. So that would be one opportunity. We have a pipeline of products, some of which have already been vetted in terms of profitability and such and are ready to go, as well as a longer list for 2022 of products. So we have a lot of ideas for products that would enhance this brand and continue to serve the customer base. So new products and expansion into additional markets would be my top two areas.
Oh yeah, that's great for a buyer to know that they've got those products ready to go. They don't have to research and sort of test out new ones. They can instantly go with those products. So that's really good for a buyer to know that. So as about the buyer, what skills or requirements do you think there are for someone who's not familiar with this niche or business model?
Mm-hmm. I think that having an e-commerce acumen allows you to be pretty flexible on what type of product you sell, because subject matter expertise can always be hired for a specific brand if you're looking for that, right? So having that Amazon acumen and having a team ready to go that can run the day-to-day and knows how to grow a brand, I think would be optimal for this brand to continue to thrive.
Absolutely. Yeah, you've got some specialists on hand, so that's very helpful. What do you think are the biggest risks with this business that a buyer should be aware of?
Biggest risks? Let me think. COVID really taught us a lot in the past year. So I'd say one of the things is that we have manufacturing both in the United States and China. And when COVID occurred and the Chinese whole manufacturing, that global supply chain was interrupted, we realized how important it is to have additional manufacturers in other parts of the world should that occur. So I think that's always a risk, not just for our brand, but for any brand, is having those additional manufacturers ready to go. Other risks would just be simply the maturity of the marketplace. So every product, every industry has that occur. We have been very fortunate to see very little price erosion in our product space. Customers see the value in the product and they do purchase it at the price that we would like them to purchase it at. But any industry will see decline over time. And so years down the road, I could see that happening as things are commoditized.
Absolutely, yeah. And it seems that you've still got consistent growth of the business year on year despite the global situation. So in that respect, you've definitely built up a solid foundation of a business here. And relate to that, putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why do you think this is a business worth buying?
When you said that, the first thing that came to mind was profit margin. We have a really high margin in the 30s for this particular product. We run it very efficiently. And in our portfolio, we give new products a chance. And if we don't feel that they are making the profit that we'd like to see, then they're cut. And so the portfolio of products that we have are ones that are high performers and that make a great number. I would also say that because in this particular niche, the competition is low, the barrier to entry is fairly small in terms of having new products. Our brand is established and we have a solid customer base. And so launching new products to that customer base has been a fairly organic process. Our organic sales make up a strong majority of our total sales volume.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's very powerful to have a loyal following for any brand. Excellent stuff. So regarding the sale of this business, would you commit to a non-compete?
Yes, absolutely.
And how much support are you willing to offer buyers? Are you going for the standard 30 days of email and Skype support?
Yes, that would be our preference because we are going to be focusing on additional projects in the Amazon space unrelated to these brands and industries. But we're happy to talk to buyers that have other things in mind.
Okay. And are you open to negotiating something like an earnout?
Yes.
Okay, good stuff. Anything else you'd like to share that I might have missed?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head, Craig. This was a great interview. Thank you for your time.
It really was, yeah. A lot of great stuff covered. So, yes, thank you very much for your time, Lauren. It's been great talking to you.
Likewise. Take care.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 52369. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.